Hello and welcome everybody. This is the Tell Us About Yourself here at Tangem Podcast, where we decode the chaos of crypto and bring forward its weird and wonderful future. I'm Anna, your host from the Tangem team. And if this is the first time you've ever heard of us, maybe you're coming in as a little bit of a cold audience, then you have probably no idea what Tangem is all about. So let me break it down for you. We are an all-in-one crypto app/platform. We have been on the market since 2018, and our main product is the Tangem Ring and the Tangem wallet in the shape of cards. They behave and look exactly the same as a normal bank card, but it is actually self-sovereign custody in your palm of your hand. So it's a very simple and safe and secure product, and we love talking about it 24/7. But let's shift the focus into the guest of today's episode. This episode is a really special one. We're very excited to be welcoming the team. It's a project that many have described as a movement. Maybe in a way it's a mystery. So I'm talking about Pepecoin, of course, and it's a community-led cryptocurrency. It combines the viral power of memes, and surprisingly, the principle stands on decentralization. Pepecoin has resisted the ERC20 bandwagon and has carved out its own path as a layer 1 blockchain. So no team allocation, no VC involvement, nothing that really signals that this team isn't about standing up for its principles of decentralization and safety and security for all. So we've got two core contributors coming in from the Pepecoin community, and we're going to unpack what the project is really about and why memes might be the future of money. Let's give some introductions, share some information about how you became a part of the Pepecoin story.
Yeah, I'm Zordiak. I am the co-founder of Pepecoin. I just love Pepe. I come from the early Dogecoin community and was really inspired by that to create Pepecoin. So that's me.
Terrific. All right, Spicy, on to you next.
Hey everyone, I'm SpicyCrypto. I found Pepecoin right after it launched in early 2024. What drew me to Pepecoin was the fact that it was a fair launch, no pre-mined, and it was a proof of work. I help with community strategy and keeping the vision on track.
Maybe you guys have already noticed, but Spicy deciding to go a little bit anonymous today. And I think the general vibe of the crypto community is it's up to everyone to decide what they kind of want to share and not share. And I think that's a really great space about crypto generally. So don't be surprised. Know that the camera's off. Do not worry. All right, let's jump into the main section. So we're going to be starting off this conversation talking about the origin story, maybe the ethos behind Pepecoin. And then finally, we're going to be wrapping up with some rapid fire questions. We love these rapid fire questions because that's always a time when we get to talk about the really fast ways that you can explain crypto, what's really important, but that's all coming down the line. Let's jump into the origin story and the ethos. All right, Zordiak, I think I'm going to ask you to tackle this first. Pepecoin launched in 2024. It's a lifetime ago in meme terms. So when it came to its creation, what was the original vision behind it, and what drew you to coming in and being a part of the Pepecoin team?
Yeah. So like I said before, I come from the early Dogecoin community, and I've been a part of the Dogecoin community since basically the very beginning. And one thing that I really love about that early Dogecoin community was that it was just a really, really fun place to be. And everyone was really, really friendly and helpful. It really, really inspired me to create Pepecoin. Because when you think about it, like it's like a minefield. It's a minefield of scams and rug pulls. And if you're new to crypto, it's a really, really scary place because there's just scams everywhere. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to create a really fun and safe place for people to just share memes and have fun and learn about crypto.
Sounds like it's a good place to come in when you have that ethos in mind and you just want to have fun. You want to create some memes and enjoy crypto for what it is. It's a little bit of a fun space environment. It doesn't have to be all stuffy and all of this like technical detail. Sometimes it is about just having a good idea and just coming in and preaching that to other people who are like you in the community. So all right, elephant in the room. This is a common misconception about you guys. What is the difference between the Pepe token on Ethereum? Can you explain the difference? A lot of people confuse one for the other, so it's an important distinction to get out of the way immediately.
Yeah, it is. And we get this a lot. So Pepe on Ethereum It's a token. It runs on the Ethereum network and it relies on Ethereum's infrastructure. It is not mineable. It's not on its own chain. And some other interesting fact is that it had a pre-allocation of about 6.9%. And basically what that means is that means that 6.9% of the total supply went straight into the hands of the creators. And not only that, but many of the social media accounts have pushed out scams, the official accounts. And later on, those accounts were claimed to be hacked. And I'll give you an example. There was the Pepe handle on Twitter. If you go to it right now, you can see that it's posted a contract address, and that address is still there. And it's been like months since it was first posted, and they claim that it was hacked, but nobody really knows for sure. Now, on the other hand, Pepecoin is a layer 1 proof of work blockchain. It runs on its own independent network. It was fairly launched in January 2024. It's fast, it has low fees, and it's triple mineable with Litecoin and Dogecoin.
All right. So it sounds like there's some unfortunate players in the industry, and it's something that we both have to live with the reality of, but also take active steps as a community, like generally all of us in crypto, take steps to rectifying it. Of course, part of it is creating different solutions. You saw that people were interested in this type of coin, and they wanted to be a part of something. That sounds like a really great way to kick off the next question, which is, what's the story behind Pepecoin? I know that it's one thing to have something written up on a website, but it's very different coming off from somebody who actually talks about this. So maybe, Spicy, you can spice it up for us right now and give us the story behind Pepecoin, what it all began with, and what do you stand for as a community?
Yeah, Pepecoin isn't just another meme. It's a stand against rug pulls, fake tokens, and centralized control. Created as a layer 1 proof of work chain, Pepecoin brings mining, community, and real utility back to the Pepe meme world. It's not here to follow trends. It's here to make history.
All right. So I understand that this is exactly what Zord was talking about earlier in terms of it's going against all of that negativity when it comes to, rug pools and centralized control and all of those things that we really do not like here in the crypto world, right? So that's something that we as Tangem also do not like. We're all about preaching safety, security, and most importantly, just the decentralized nature that you can be the sole owner of your crypto. It can be in your hands, literally speaking. This is the crypto ring that I'm referring to. And not to talk about Tangem all that much, it's just I like it when we have similar values across different platforms. It's important that we keep on having conversations like this and making sure that people are aligned with bringing the right and the correct version of crypto into life. All right, I've got a next question. This is a little bit based on a prior conversation that we had. You mentioned that you are all volunteers. That's kind of an interesting approach in crypto. A lot of people maybe do not take that stance. So where is all that love coming from? That's obviously coming from an obvious place of love for the project and for the ethos. So maybe one of you can tackle this. Is it true that you're all volunteers, or did I get that completely wrong?
Yes, no, it is true. We are all volunteers, and the love comes from the mission. We're not here for quick gains or a paycheck. We believe in Pepecoin as a long-term community-owned project, building something real and fun in a space that's been overrun with scams.
Well, that's where all the love is. It's something that you both stand for, and that way you kind of want to bring it forward. You know what? I have an approach, or at least it's something that I've heard from our side of the community, that meme coins are not that serious. Is there a reason why you think that meme coins get a bad rep? And in fact, do they have a bad rep, or is that just from my end of the pool?
Yeah, that's a great question. The truth is, crypto's been through cycles of trust and betrayal. What we're trying to do is we're trying to break that pattern. Bitcoin, it's open source, it's transparent, it's proof of work, and everything's verifiable on chain. And I think the right way forward is to, do your own research and support projects that put transparency first.
So, okay, we've tackled about meme coins getting a bad rep and maybe about the volunteering side of how do you actually get rewarded for your contribution to the project. So I guess my question is the dynamics within the team. You're all volunteers, but where's the comp coming in from? Is there maybe some sort of token allocation or something behind the scenes that maybe we don't know about, or maybe your community needs again to hear it, that the truth from your side?
There isn't a token allocation. There's no, it really is a community of people that just love Pepecoin. Carzo and I, which are the two founders, we launched Pepecoin, and we found that there were some really passionate people in the community. And over time, we pulled them in and we brought them on the team. And it turned into a decentralized team that's completely worldwide. And it's really awesome. Everybody works for free. It's just a passionate team of people who love Pepecoin.
All right. I love that. Let's talk about the blockchain. I mean, it's all well to talk about, the bigger ideas of where we're building, but I want to dive into the blockchain. You mentioned it being a trustless blockchain, so verifiable launch, all those great keywords, but can you tell us in your simple words, why is it a trustless blockchain?
Yeah, I could do that. Pepecoin's launch was 100% fair and transparent. There was no pre-mine. There's no VC allocation. The blockchain's proof of work, so anybody can verify the Genesis block and how it's mined since day one. That's what trustless means. You don't have to trust a person or a team. You can verify everything yourself on chain.
All right. And when it comes to verifying yourself on chain, I assume you've built out some sort of close relationship with the community. So what is that relationship looking like? Everybody's trusting, but at the same time, trustless. So what does the community think of all of this?
When it comes to trust, I'm not a fan of trust. And so when we launched, we did everything from the release of Pepecoin Core all the way to the fair launch was done completely trustless, so that with Pepecoin Core, you could build it yourself through the tools. You could build it yourself, and you would know that because it's open source, you would know that the code that you were running is the code that was released. There's a whole process for that, but basically you can compare the hashes of what the open source build tools create versus what was released on GitHub, and you can see that those match. And what that means is that what you've built with the open source code matches the official release. And so that verifies that the official release has not been tampered with. And so in that way, it's trustless. And then also everything about the fair launch is verifiable on chain. And so in that way, you can know for sure. You don't have to trust anyone. Everything is verifiable. So it's, like I said, I'm not a fan of trust. And so it was really important to us that everything was verifiable on chain and also verifiable through the use of cryptography.
Makes sense. But it's also run by the community, correct?
Yes, it is ran by the community. Like I said, it was just the two founders. Everyone else in the entire project is the community. The entire team, everyone, we're not, and also we're not crypto insiders. We've never made a cryptocurrency before. We'd never made a token before. This is the first time that we'd ever made a crypto. And we were, like I said, we were really, really inspired by Dogecoin, and we wanted to create a new cryptocurrency for Pepecoin.
Makes sense. Isn't it great that in crypto we can just be gathered by a bunch of different ideas, and then you can just launch something by yourself and then rally people around it and have a battle cry of the ethos behind it? So it's a wonderful space to be a part of. And I think in 10 years' time, we're all going to be looking back at this being sort of the genesis of a new kind of culture, which is a wonderful thing to be a part of. So I applaud every single one of you in the community who's, of course, like we've heard, all volunteers. So Discord, subreddit, as far as I understand, please correct me if I'm wrong, but all of you are just people who create the community together and the product behind it as well. So anybody can contribute. There's artwork, infrastructure. It's just, if you like the ethos, come and join. And that's a wonderful space to be in. I want to ask you specifically, Zord, though, how did you come to Pepe? What kind of drew you to the project? Like, is it the meme? Is it the tech? Is it the culture? Is it a myriad of any other things? Like, why did you come in and decide, yes, I want to donate my time to a worthy cause?
Yeah. So like I said, I really, really love Dogecoin, and I was kind of sitting back thinking, like, I would really love to be a part of a Pepecoin community, and it didn't exist. And so I thought, it would be really amazing because I knew it could exist. I knew that an amazing community could exist around Pepe. And I thought, you know what? if we don't, because the Pepe token launched, right? And I wasn't really I wasn't really a super big fan of the whole ethos and everything around just tokens in general. And I just thought, like, if we don't build a blockchain for Pepe, I don't think anyone is going to build one. That was really what inspired me to make this and to donate all my time. It's been like 2 years since we started this. And yeah, so I was really, really inspired by that and really just wanted to be a part of like a really massive community.
It's a cute way to put it. Spicy. What drew you to Pepe? What was so interesting about all of this that just made you go, yes, I want to be behind the scenes on this, not just a person in the Discord, but actually somebody who's now speaking to other projects about this. So from your side, Spicy, what drew you to Pepe?
So I found Pepe on Reddit, and just seeing the way that the community interacted with the Pepecoin team, especially Zord. I don't know, it was just such a welcoming community that if I had any questions or anything related to crypto, they were just there to help. And it was just a warm, welcoming invite, and I've been in it ever since.
Okay, my next question. We touched upon this earlier, Zord. You touched upon ethos, and some people say that meme coins have no value. This is quite an inflammatory way to put it. So, what would you say to that? I've met plenty of people at conferences, even, and they just kind of go, "Well, meme coins have no value." So, what do you say to people like that?
I would say that a really, really good meme coin puts their focus on the people. A lot of serious projects will put their focus on the tech, but for a coin like Pepecoin, our focus is on the people. It's on creating a community. It's on creating a really fun place for people to be. And one of the things that I say, even to like the team, is that the Pepecoin community, it should be a fun place to be, even if there was no coin. And then you add the coin on top of that, and then it's kind of like a cherry on top. And if you do that and you do that well, people will want to be a part of the community, even no matter what the price does, right? And it creates kind of this, I guess you could say, like a kind of elasticity, kind of a stickiness where people will always stick around. They'll always support you no matter what's happening, right? If things aren't going our way. We had this recently where we had a massive exchange try and do a rug pull, and it was really, really bad. This was in February this year, but we had a lot of support around the community, and we had a lot of people that stuck with us, and we got through it. It was actually really crazy. But it was awesome, except for the rug pull part.
I love the little smile. It speaks 1,000 words. I think we've all been parts of communities where it's like, okay, I'm really glad that the community stuck by us. But behind the scenes, you're going, that was fun, because you would never like to replicate that experience again. But isn't it great that then we have communities that kind of rally around us? But I think it kind of speaks about the integrity behind the scenes. You really positioned yourself as a meme coin with integrity, that other players are doing something else, but we are the ones who have your best interests at heart. Coin or not coin, it's always about having the community first. So being a coin full of integrity, what does that mean in practice, really?
Really, it means trustless, right? Like I said before, if you build everything around blockchain, which has no central point of trust, no central authority. If you think about tokens, where they have these features, you could call them, I guess, where you can blacklist a wallet, right? Or you can mint new coins. These are central authority. And the thing about a blockchain is it doesn't have that. Integrity is built into the protocol for Pepecoin. And so it doesn't require trust. And that's what it looks like in practice, at least for us. And going back to what you were talking about, do meme coins have value? Pepecoin is 10 times faster than Bitcoin, and it's extremely cheap. Litecoin, Dogecoin, Pepecoin, all these coins are very cheap and very fast. The other thing is that Pepecoin is very, very secure. It's actually a lot more secure than very serious chains. There are serious projects out there that are nowhere near as secure as Pepecoin. And the reason why is because they focus on trying to build a new community of miners, which, if you have an algorithm, if you have a new algorithm that no one's using, then you have to convince a bunch of people to buy a bunch of new ASIC miners to mine on this brand new coin that no one knows if it's going to be successful or not. Whereas with Pepecoin, what we've done is we use this thing called merged mining. And what merged mining does is it allows us to take advantage of Litecoin and Dogecoin's hash rate to secure the network. And so when people say meme coins have no value, I think that our chain has a lot of value because it's extremely secure. It has, I mean, the hash rate is neck and neck with Dogecoin. And that's pretty incredible for a chain that's only been out for a year and a half. And the other thing is it's 10 times faster than Bitcoin. So I think Pepecoin has a lot of value.
I like that. I think better, faster, stronger is also always a very strong USP. The secondary value, I understand what you mean. Now I understand what you mean, that there's the first value of we are money. Our integrity first, we are a token that stands for its values, but it's also the tech behind the scenes, right? So all of this, when people say, oh, memes have no value, I think that what they mean that in the case where there's a scenario where there's a lot of fancy frill and a lot of meme value, but not a lot of technical value. So I have in mind that we're going to talk about the technical values a little bit later. Okay, we've established meme coins are serious, but does crypto need more seriousness, or does it need a little bit more humor? Between the two, it's quite an interesting balance. So what do you think crypto needs at the moment?
Yeah, I think meme coins, they need to have a bit of technology behind them, right? I think there really is a balance there. And when it comes to tokens are kind of, they lean on this, they lean too much on the meme part, I think. You know, if you look at smart contracts like the ERC interface, it has all kinds of stuff built into it, like blacklisting wallets, right? It has these centralization functions built into it. And it really goes against the whole ethos of blockchain, right? And so I think that if you want to build a really great meme coin, you really need to do it on a blockchain.
It's a good answer. I like that. Instead of just doing yet another ERC20 token, having its own blockchain kind of solidifies that credibility in the space, and having that own technical background is really advantageous to any project. So I think let's tackle into the technical side of Pepecoin. What makes it different from other just copy-paste meme tokens? We've touched on this a little bit, but instead of just slapping a sticker on it and calling it another ERC20 token, what's really the difference in terms of technical know-how from the Pepecoin team?
Yeah, really the big thing is that it's not dependent on Ethereum. It's not dependent on Solana or any other network. It's on its own chain. So if you don't remember anything but that, Pepecoin is on its own blockchain. It's a code fork of Dogecoin. It has a 1-minute block time. And like I said before, it's 10 times faster than Bitcoin. It utilizes something called merged mining. And what that does is it allows it to take advantage of all of the hash rate that's securing the Litecoin and Dogecoin networks. And we use that to secure the Pepecoin network. And so that makes it extremely secure.
Because it's a standalone proof of work chain, why did you go that route instead of going with an ERC20 token or another chain perhaps, like most other meme coins? What made you have that difference of we're going to go this route?
Yeah. So mainly it's like the independence of it, right? When you have a chain when you have a token that's built on something like Ethereum or Solana, really what happens is it creates this dependence. It creates a dependence on those chains. And so if Vitalik, the creator of Ethereum, if Vitalik decides that he wants to make a change to Ethereum, and it turns out that change has adverse effects on your token, you don't have any control of that, right? If you have your own blockchain, you're in control of your own destiny. The other thing is that your success is dependent on the parent chain's success. So if something happens to Ethereum or Solana, which who knows what will happen in 10 or 20 years. If something happens to Ethereum or Solana and it's not as popular anymore, you're stuck on that chain. But with Pepecoin, you're on your own chain. So I think that breaking that dependence long-term is extremely important. The other thing is that Pepecoin has extremely low fees. If you want to use like a token as money, if you want to make payments with it or do like donations, you really can't because the gas fees are just so high. But with Pepecoin, I mean, the fees are so low, it's like less than a penny to send Pepecoin over the network.
I like what you said about network independence. You're always dependent on the host network in the event that you do launch on something. So on Solana means that you're going to be dependent on how Solana operates. And of course, in the last couple of months, I don't know from your end, but from my end, I can definitely tell when something's off with a new Solana meme token, the entire network will crash. Everything will start becoming slow and not able to be paced at your own pace. And that's a lot of stress to put on anybody who's putting a token on some network. So when it comes to creating your own blockchain, I get the ethos behind it. Let's continue on to the next segue. When it comes to development, there's got to be some sort of centralized system that's going to make those decisions. How does that direction work?
We put a lot of value in what the community thinks. We have votes a lot. They're not like in any kind of official sense, right? Like they're not like on chain, right? But what we do is we just kind of, we'll make an announcement. We'll go on Reddit, we'll make a post and we'll say, what do you guys think of this, right? Do you want to list on this exchange? And we get feedback from them. We have discussions among the team and we'll make decisions based on that. So it's not like some official thing that's on chain, right? But we take into consideration what people are saying and what people think and so.
All right. So it's not like a DAO mechanism. I think that's the main thing that matters
Yeah.
is there's got to be somebody who's leading it behind the scenes, but it's all very voluntary. And if you want to come and join and be part of the decision-making process, then I assume it's if you do enough, then you will get rewarded enough. Let's talk about what success looks like. So success for Pepe, is it the price? Is it the cultural relevance? Longevity speaking, is it the tech? Is it the price? How would you judge whether something's gone right?
It's community. That's really what it boils down to. We have all kinds of plans for things that we would like to accomplish. When we made our announcement post on day one, if you go back on Bitcoin Talk and you read it, the announcement post says, we are going to build r/Pepecoin to 1 million strong. And that really sums up like what we're doing. And one of the things that we would like to do is we would like to reach out to the Pepe on Ethereum community. We'd like to reach out to the original Pepecoin from 2016. We'd like to reach out to the people in that community and tell them, hey, you guys are welcome to join our community. The ultimate goal is for all of the Pepe crypto communities to join our community and have one massive community for Pepe, all under a single coin, just like it is with Dogecoin.
So one big centralized state of meme coins, that could be the way that you judge whether something's gone well or not. Sort of a big conglomerate Pepe amalgamation, this giant monster in the world of crypto in the best way possible. That would be a dream come true, right? When you just have this big massive community and there's no one better than the other. It's all one big Pepe. We are Pepe. We are everything. That does sound like something that over time is bound to happen, especially with all that technical know-how that you guys possess and with all that security and all of that transforming power that crypto has. So fingers crossed, let's see it happen. But over time, let's dive into the closing parts in a way. We've had a long conversation. It's been roughly around like 30 minutes or so. We've had a good time, but we're going to be wrapping up soon. What do you think about meme fatigue? Is it something that people are just a little bit tired with, or is it just the beginning? Is the trend just starting, or are we tailing towards the end of that?
When it comes to tokens, maybe. Meme blockchains, I feel like that's a new ground. Pepecoin isn't a copy and paste. It's built to go the distance. We like to say we meme, but we meme business.
I love that. That's such a natural way to put it. We meme business. I kind of want to steal that as a catchphrase, but unfortunately I can't. It's being copyrighted by Spicy, so I'm just gonna have to live with that. The best catchphrase is done, so we'll get to make a new catchphrase by the end of this chat, hopefully. Right. This is one of the last questions. What do you think the misconception is with meme coins, and what do you wish that people kind of got it through their head? Maybe it's that it's not just a meme, it's all backed up by community. It's not just an ERC20 token, it's actually a layer one. Basically just about meme coins, what do you think people need to get through their heads with?
So the biggest misconception that I've noticed and seen is that they can't have utility. We're proof that memes and real tech can coexist and thrive.
Good take. Zord, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think, well, there's a huge misconception with Dogecoin, I think. Like Dogecoin is one of the best blockchains that there is. You know, if you look at the real world use of different chains, like the number of transactions and stuff, like BitPay promotes this a lot. They post on their Twitter all the time that like Litecoin is one of the most used, it is the most used blockchain on their platform. And Dogecoin is also extremely high up there. And there's a reason for that. It's because Dogecoin is, like I said before, because Pepecoin's a fork of Dogecoin, Dogecoin is 10 times faster than Bitcoin. It is really good at being money. And just like Dogecoin, Pepecoin is as well. And so I think the biggest misconception is that meme coins have no value. I think the value is in the blockchain. The reason why I think a lot of people think that meme coins have no value is because when they think of a meme coin, they're thinking Solana token. They're thinking ERC20 token. And with that, I would agree with them. Dogecoin is pretty much the only meme coin that actually provides real utility. And so with Pepecoin, what we aim to do is be really the second meme coin that provides that same utility.
So let's put our thinking caps on and imagine a theoretical scenario. Let's say that the next bull run is led by memes. All of it is just memes. That's why we have Bitcoin soaring up and everybody buying in and having a good time, and retail comes in and they're all very over the top excited. Do you think that's a good future? Is that a good thing that the next bull run could be led by memes?
I think that would be amazing. No, but really, I think it depends on who you ask. If Pepecoin does well, I think it's going to show the market that people want more proof of work coins. They really like blockchains. And one of the goals of our project is not just to be successful, but to inspire more projects, whether it be meme coins or serious projects, to build on proof of work. And I think the market right now, it's dominated by Ethereum and Solana tokens. And what we're here to do is to show everyone that, you know, it's possible to build a blockchain, fairly launch it, and still be successful.
What a good way to put it. The next bull run is run by memes. You've definitely heard it here. It's definitely a good thing. And it all starts with having nice little conversations. This is our favorite section coming up. By our, I mean the Tangem community and the community of Pepecoin, because we know that the questions behind the scenes are very spicy. So, okay. Spicy, you're going to take some of these questions, then Zord is going to take them. The point of them is that we're going to have very short fire answers. So one word, one sentence max, and we're going to make it a very memeable format. So drum roll, let's kick it off. One word to describe the Pepecoin community.
Authentic.
Good way to put it. Favorite frog on the internet, is it classic Pepe or deep cut?
Definitely classic Pepe.
Okay, and if Pepe was a sports team, what would the chant be?
Mind the chain, post the meme.
If you had to explain Pepecoin to your grandma, what would you say?
It's like digital frog money that people around the world use for fun and freedom.
I love that. Okay. All right. Best meme use case outside of crypto?
Political resistance. Memes are how the internet fights back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best question of the entire day. So, your favorite conspiracy theory in the crypto world, both of you, Spicy, Zord, you kick this off. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Satoshi lost his private keys.
Mine's that Vitalik and Satoshi are the same person and that they live on a fog front.
I think that's very plausible. Both of them is that Satoshi some way got lost in the game, and now we're all just here building a nice meme world. So I love that. That's a really nice way to finish up with. We've all had a long conversation. I think we're just going to wrap up a little bit slowly. Guys, if you have anything else to add with us, now would probably be the time, because we've had a really good chat. I've really enjoyed that. It's been interesting to find out more about the Pepecoin project. So all of those wonderful things that make us have this rally cry towards a call to action. It's a little bit of a revolution. Tell us more. Where can we find one last piece of information about you? Where should we go next? So all of our wonderful listeners, where do we go? Tell us where to go.
So the website is pepecoin.org. The subreddit is r/Pepecoin. You can find us on Discord at discord.gg/Pepecoin. And you can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/PepeCoinNetwork.
Terrific. Okay, so we just go to all the socials, put everything up in there, join the community. And as we've heard during this entire time, it's very important that you just come in, have a good time, and then maybe the team will kind of go, yeah, you should probably join us, because that's just the way that Pepecoin operates. It's very much, we see you, we want you to be a part of the team. And the price and all of that wonderful token side of thing actually comes second. It's all about communication, as we've learned so far. And I think we've had a nice chat. So Zord, Spicy, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to subscribe to So Tell Us About Yourself, a Tangem podcast. And I hope that you join us for next time for more raw, real, and surprisingly interesting conversations from people all across the world in Web3. Wonderful viewers, thanks so much.